So, you want to learn how to fail at YouTube, huh? Well, you've come to the right place. Because despite my many attempts at starting a YouTube channel in the past, I continue to fail. So, here we are, starting from scratch once again. And I know what you're probably thinking.
But JJ, you're so handsome, your beard smells of lavender, and your luscious locks cascade down to the floor.
They do. And still, I continue to move sideways instead of forward, putting in hundreds of hours of work that go absolutely nowhere. So, if this sounds like your particular brand of vodka, then welcome, buddy. Strap in and let's explore together the wonderful world of 4 ways of failing at YouTube. Please keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times. This is gonna get bumpy. The year that So Sharknado happened and gave birth to the now infamous Florida Man also witnessed my first ever upload to YouTube. It was a cover of the song Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. Yes, for those of you who don't know me, which is literally every single one of you, except maybe for my mom. Hi, Mom. I am, or really just primarily think of myself as a musician. In the weeks following the publication of that first video, I uploaded 6 more videos, 4 covers and 2 original songs, and then I simply stopped. That was my way number 1 of failing at YouTube: lack of consistency. Turns out YouTube loves consistency. I recently came across a very interesting statistic from our friends over at TubeBuddy. For channels with 1,000 to 10,000 subscribers, there is an average of 152 uploads. What? Are you kidding me? 152? I had 7 videos on my channel when I stopped. 7. I'm not sure how great you are at doing the mathematics, but 7 is somewhat distant from 152. So then why did I stop? Oh, I'm really glad you asked, baby bear. Basically, I got overwhelmed by the amount of effort those videos took from a technical perspective, something I will absolutely touch on in a minute because it's a huge problem. And in my young naivete, became very disheartened by the lack of views I got right off the bat, which is another gargantuan predicament we'll come back to. And I didn't even study for the GRE. I also clearly didn't know consistency was even a thing. Fast forward a number of years, and even though I hadn't uploaded any more videos, my YouTube dreams were far from extinct. I had been living in Los Angeles for a while, was about to give up my apartment to try to go travel full-time.
As you guys already know, the plan is to travel to different countries.
And thought, hey, this feels like a good opportunity to rekindle that old flame of mine. So, in my quest to try to restart my YouTube aspirations, I did what any reasonable person would do. I slowly and thoughtfully started to work towards trying. I went out and bought 2 GoPros, a gimbal camera, a drone, and a new iPhone, because no channel of mine is ever going to have bad cinematography. At the precise moment when I should have been focusing on creating as much content as I could as consistently as possible, I managed to overcomplicate the shit out of the process by pretending I was Roger Deakins.
Oh my God.
Instead of coming up with video ideas, I spent countless hours trying to figure out how all my new fancy gear worked and how to incorporate it into my workflow. Instead of going out to shoot videos, which would have been a huge pain because of all the gear I'd be hauling around, my time was consumed charging a million different batteries that all had different chargers and different charging times. And I don't even want to get into managing all the different files from all the different cameras in post-production. I once spent multiple days trying to color match footage from 3 different cameras. And you know what? It still looked like
poopy.
Naturally, once again, I abandoned the project like a baby in a basket outside an orphanage. You don't need all that fancy crap. Some creators have gotten hundreds of thousands of subscribers with a single phone. There are tons of people killing it on YouTube with very simple and modest setups. And there are a lot of creators with the most insanely cinematic videos who don't get anywhere near them in terms of reach. This notion of needing my videos to look like a Scorsese movie just to have a chance of making it was total poppycock. Love that word. but I wasn't finished quite yet because there were 3 things I knew with absolute certainty. 1, I wanted a successful YouTube channel. 2, I wanted to make music while traveling full-time. And 3, for it to work, all I needed was the perfect concept. Trying to find the perfect concept for my channel was my way of taking my procrastination to its absolute maximum expression. Because how else do you spend months thinking about your work, feeling like you're being productive while accomplishing absolutely nothing? I'll give you the answer. By thinking you need to find the perfect concept to start your YouTube channel. I couldn't just begin uploading videos and see where things went. No, are you crazy? I needed a fully fleshed out, perfectly optimized plan that somehow managed to get everything right from the get-go and anticipate any problem that may or may not arise in the future. So, like a bitching Roman legionary, I set out to conquer a concept so solid that not only would everyone absolutely get it right away, they would go bananas, get lightheaded, and pass out from excitement. But as I launched on my quest to dominate the land, I quickly got bitch slapped by a sobering realization. The land is already pretty dominated, and that is all I needed to awaken the demon. This is probably the most surefire way of failing at YouTube, and we all succumb to it at one point or another. You try to start gathering ideas for your YouTube channel by watching other YouTube channels and promptly realize how successful everyone is. Not only are they successful, but their success feels completely effortless. How could you ever measure up to that? No wonder they got 37 billion subscribers. They're the best there is, plain and simple. They wake up in the morning and piss excellence. That phrase is a trademark not to be used of Ricky Bobby Inc.
You called it.
Meanwhile, you're struggling to drag your ass out of bed, only to find out you still got Doritos beard from last night. And so you decide you will never be able to achieve something like that, and you're better off binge watching another episode of Yummy Mummies. So, to recap, if your goal is to have your videos never see the light of day, so you never have to deal with having a successful YouTube channel, then I offer you my patented foolproof system for failing at YouTube. Number 1, don't be consistent. If you must hit publish, do it so sparsely, so infrequently, so sporadically that no one could mistakenly assume they can rely on any kind of content from you on a regular basis. Number 2, overcomplicate the out of it. Try to find as many technical obstacles as you can. Incompatible formats? Yes. Bunch of different frame rates? Please. Weirdly obscure camera that only records for 5 minutes every 29.5 days during the full moon? Sign me up for a full-length documentary. But remember, for this step to work at ruining your YouTube desires, you must, and please, I really can't stress this enough, you must absolutely be a first-rate, grade A, perfectionist schmuck. Because if you don't care that the saturation of blues and reds doesn't flawlessly match between the 4 different cameras you used for your cuticle care tutorial, guess what? Nobody will. Number 3, don't start until you have the perfect concept. Good enough doesn't cut it. Great doesn't either. And once you think you have the perfect concept, how can you be sure? You can't. So maybe just keep tinkering with it. Eventually, you'll probably not get there, but then again, that's kind of the point. Number 4, keep comparing yourself. And I do mean relentlessly. Just go on a strict social media diet of uber successful content creators and focus on, no, better yet, obsess over how effortlessly successful they are. And please make an effort to find a couple of creators who somehow just rub you the wrong way. Put them on your regular rotation. That works like gangbusters. As a pro tip, make sure you enable all notifications on your phone. And that's it. That's really all it takes. I want to thank you for your time here today. I know you have options when it comes to failing at YouTube, and it fills me with great honor to have you consider a system that I can personally guarantee works. I would tell you to subscribe, but I don't want to break my first rule. Peace.